not registered, licensed, or lack of minimum requirements to operate.
It will be until such a time when the policy is reviewed. When we've reviewed the policy and we have given provision for government to be able to take and implement the ECD, that is only when we can start implementing. Because without reviewing the policy, we cannot start implementing what is outside the Act.
The Ministry of Education and Sports will come up with policy guidelines to compel the private sector with early childhood centers comply.
The Ministry of Education and Sports has banned. We do not want boarding section for nursery schools. Reinforce it. No boarding section for baby nurseries. Those are still babies. They should still continue to enjoy their parents' tender, loving care. Continue to protect the child, love the child, and provide that continuous teaching for the child as a day scholar.
Children, however, cannot access early childhood care and education since 1.8 million do not go to those centers, and yet even the completion rate for those who get an opportunity to attend is very low.
Government of Uganda, the Ministry of Education and Sport, please consider adding children who are at the age 5 to your government official spending.
To propose to undertake legal reforms by changing Section 10(2)(a) of the Education Act and replacing it with section that provides for the government to design and provide a compulsory pre-primary level of education for at least 1 year.
Education experts recommend that parents are empowered with skills to support children, while those involved have the capacity to provide the service.
For instance, we saw that a large share of learners are not meeting the literacy and numeracy benchmarks by P3. That's a really critical point in the education cycle, because that's the point where, for literacy, for example, we shift from learning to read to reading to learn. We're no longer necessarily teaching literacy as much as we're using literacy as a means to learn other things. And if the learners don't have those skills at that point, then learning tends to flatline.
During the second National Early Childhood Care and Education Symposium, all stakeholders committed to make early childhood education key priority.
And on behalf of UNICEF Uganda country team, I declare that we are fully committed to support early childhood care and education in Uganda.
So I'm very happy to recommit our commitment to early childhood development and education.
I'm Nafka Farida and Abna Silwama in Kampala.
Now, the Chief Executive Officer from the African Union Development Agency is in Uganda to stress the impacts of the implementation of African Union Development Agenda 2063. Nados Bekele was received by the State Minister for Finance, Amos Lugolobi, and held discussions on areas which Uganda can develop in tandem with the African Union Development Agenda.
The Minister of State for Finance, Planning and Economic Development, Amos Lugolobi, has received a delegation from African Union Development Agency to discuss Uganda's development implementation policies for the realization of Africa's Agenda 2063.
Uganda, in the process of integrating within the Africa Continental Trade Area, does not remain behind. That we present to them projects that could be promoted within the framework of AUDA, NEPAD, opportunity of using our own resources, particularly from the private sector, issues like issuing long-term infrastructure bonds, such things to finance our own infrastructure and to reduce dependency on borrowing.
Areas of discussion are Uganda's implementation of Africa Free Trade Area and Uganda's infrastructure development programs.
Uganda alone cannot produce and market products to itself. We need to take advantage of this larger market of the continent, which has not been fully exploited and which has been dependent on suppliers outside the continent. We need to make sure that we establish the infrastructure that links us from one country to the other in terms of communication, in terms of road transport, rail transport, marine transport, to enable the movement of goods and the people within the continent.
The Chief Executive Officer for the African Union Development Agency, Nados Bakele Thomas, highlights on the importance of tracing the impacts of the implementation program for member states and how states can attain their infrastructure development in tandem with the African Union agenda.
And as such, the most important thing that we're doing is, first of all, which we discussed today, is the impact study. First of all, country by country, nation by nation, we are putting in place a study which is called an impact study, the impact study of African free trade. If we open the borders, if we harmonize our policies, if we have got regulatory framework that is standardized, that guides our thing, if our monetary policies are harmonized, if our monetary instruments and fiscal instruments are harmonized, what would be the impact, the immediate impact?
The African Union Development Agency facilitates and coordinates the implementation of regional and continental priority development programs, resource mobilization, research, and knowledge management. Sada Mubale, UBC News, Kampala.
Now, court assessors of the Criminal Division of the High Court have advised for the acquittal of the accused Kalungi Abubakar in the murder case of Afande Mohamed Chirumira and Resti Nalinya. Now, they told court that evidence produced by prosecution does not in any way satisfy court to convict the accused.
The two High Court Criminal Division Court assessors, Nafula Jacqueline and Nabufu Jacqueline, have given in their views in the 2018 murder case of Afande Mohamed Chirumira and Resti Nalinya Mbabazi. In court, the assessors stated that the evidence presented in court did not show that the accused person, Kalungi Abubakar, was involved in the murder.
In the death of a person, death was unlawful, death was with malice aforethought, and participation of the accused, and were not contested by the defense side. None of the witnesses who came to testify in this honorable court placed the accused A1 at the scene of crime.
They also added that Kalungi was tortured during the recording of the statement, which infringes on his rights.
Described injuries as healing bruises, hence indicating that there was torture inflicted on the accused person before he made the charge and caution statement, but done by PW10.
The assessors advised court to acquit the accused of all the charges against him.
We therefore advise this honorable court to find the accused person not guilty of the offense as charged and acquit him accordingly.
Judge Joyce Mutoni said 24th April 2023 to deliver a ruling in this matter. Zimbe Zephania is the lawyer representing the accused Abubakar.
Glad and happy that justice is being served, and finally we are hopeful of justice and fairness in the judgment that will be delivered on 24th April 2023.
The court assessors are lay people with no legal background, but were chosen by the High Court and sworn in to follow the criminal murder trial on behalf of the public. Rebecca Nantongo, UBC News.
The High Court Land Division will rule whether police vacates the contested land between Tony Mutabingwa and the family of the late Yusuf Nsubuga. The said police enforcement was ordered to protect the land on the orders of State Minister for Lands, Judith Nabakova. Meanwhile, the General Court Martial in Machinde has set the 24th of April to resume hearing of the case where 3 are accused of murder of the NRM LC5 chairperson.
Last week, Tony Mutabingwa filed a suit at High Court Land Division in Kampala against the late Yusuf Nsubuga's family over the dispute land situated on plot number 244 and broker number 8705 in Kyadondo, Wakiso district asking court to declare him as the rightful owner of the land. Tony Mutabingwa also filed an application asking court to issue a temporary injunction, among others ordering police enforcement to vacate the land until the final determination of the main suit. The plaintiff lawyer told court that police has no locus to protect a private property.
Now, the availability and the presence of police has no problem. The only problem is where police seeks to stay for a whole year, when they know that that piece of land is not a police post. So one intends to use police as an instrument of operation against the buyer of the piece of land. The arguments we have placed before it, and it is going to determine who is actually correct and the rightful owner.
However, this was objected to by the respondent's legal team.
Now, these people went, Mutabingwa, with the applicant, went on the land force-free, beat up people. Others were cut with pangas and excavated graves in order to take legal possession.
It is regrettable because in a land transaction, we do not expect anybody to beat the other. What is actually laughable is that sellers and vendors of said pieces of land turn around in a manner that is completely and generate a labyrinth of facts, making them stay on the said piece of land even after being paid. So that is what we lawyers now bring before courts of law.
They also asked court to issue an order maintaining the status quo until the final determination of the matter.
We are saying, why don't we keep peace? We'll try this matter when no one is on the land. If they believe that they don't want to do anything wrong, let that land remain under the protection of police. The role of Uganda police, by the way, people don't understand it. It's protect people and property.
Registrar Simon Zlitusa has set 29th March 2023 to deliver a ruling over this issue, after which court will hear the main suit. In another development, the General Court Martial has not been able to proceed with the case, where 3 people are accused in the murder of the former NRM chairperson, Fontoroko District. This followed when the panel was not fully set to proceed with the hearing of the matter. Chairman Brigadier General Freeman Robert Mugabe adjourned the matter to 24th April 2023 for further hearing of the matter. Deborah Namamonde, Nantongo Rebecca, UBC News.
And Uganda will be represented at the African Union Specialized Technical Committee on Public Service, Local Government and Urban Development and Decentralization after the Ministry of Lands, Housing and Urban Development assumed office today. Lands Minister Judith Nabakova promised to formulate mechanisms and shared reports and experience for urban development.
The State Minister for Lands, Housing and Urban Development, Judith Nabakova, has received instruments of power to assume the African Union role as the Vice Chairperson in charge of urbanization and settlement at the African Union. Nabakova promised to work towards gearing the implementation of African Union Development Agenda for Africa Urban Development Forum and establish a mechanism for member states to share reports and experience for urban development agenda.
The development of the regional harmonized framework of the new urban agenda, the localization of the new urban agenda, and also the ratification of the 2 African charters, respectively on public service and decentralization, through the orientation of the African Public Service Day, which is held every 23rd of June each year.
The Lesotho ambassador and former chairperson, Professor Martha Sajanamani, pledged support for the newly elected leadership.
I have no doubt that the incoming chair and bureau will continue to strengthen and build upon these foundations like we have built on the foundations that we found in 2018. You also need to adopt the results-based approaches, revitalize our strategic planning, and ensure effective interface among national plans, regional initiatives, and Agenda 2063.
The tenure for the Minister for Lands and Urban Development, Judith Nabakova, will last 2 years at the African Union Specialist Technical Committee on Local Government, Urban Development and Housing. Sada Mubale, UBC News, Kampala.
And the Ugandan National Council for Science Technology has visited Bugama University to ascertain its readiness for accreditation with the Research Ethics Committee. This followed the university's application to the council to be granted a license for carrying out research in given fields.
For the need to promote and enhance research in the country, Bugama University has asked the Uganda National Council for Science and Technology to grant them a research committee to allow them to do and publish research in various fields.
The time that we started working on this was 2018 when we applied for the Research Ethics Committee. But after the lockdown, we resurrected this application. A National Council has worked hard, and the Accreditation Committee also has worked hard to look into our papers and protocols.
Henry Mugera, a lecturer at the university, explained the purpose of granting the license to the university, especially in the field of national development.
Better ways of doing things, it may be in treatment of people, it may be in the way we conduct some processes. Most of the development that we've seen in the world has been because of research. So research is part and parcel of a university, of an institution like Bugama University. And so this is very crucial time for such an institution to have its own research ethics committee.
However, they cited challenges that the university faces in conducting research for other universities.
We would recommend them to go to other research and ethics committee from other institutions, and that will require them to pay a lot of money, which is costly on their part as students, but also for the members of staff. It also has been a problem, and it also have been limiting the capacity for the staff to publish.
The head of UNCST Research Committee highlighted on the findings from the university.
We have looked at their staff, we have looked at their funding, we have looked at their catchment area where they are going to regulate to get research, we are looking at how they are going to operate, and we have noted all that. So when we go back to the National Council for Science and Technology, we shall have a meeting and discuss and come to a conclusion.
Susan Nabugudde, Rebecca Nantongo compiled the story.
Now, former Member of Parliament Dr. Nokorach William has graduated with doctorate in education at the Atlantic International University in the US. Over 2,000 students of the Atlantic International University from more than, I beg your pardon, that's from across the world graduated, and Nokorach Wilson, the only student from Uganda, graduated with a doctorate in education. Dr. Nokorach William is a person with physical disability who represented persons with disabilities in Ugandan Parliament from 2006 to 2021. He was a commissioner in Parliament from 2014 to 2016. When asked as to what motivated him to go for study, Dr. Nokorach, the only student with a disability among the graduates, explained that he wants to show that when given equal chance, people with disability can perform equally well. Now, issues related to culture, traditions, customs and beliefs are identified as preventive factors to participation of women and girls in leadership. This was said in a discussion by stakeholders on how this attitude can be changed with the official launch of the Hear Her Out, She's a Capable Leader campaign by the Girl Up initiative implemented by She Leads project.
She can be a leader. She is the light of Uganda.
In the past, women were not involved in leadership and ministry. These were meant for men only, but now they are also involved in leadership at various levels.
Now we have different girls who are leaders in the community, who have taken up leadership spaces in their community. We find girls who are, women leaders, girls leaders in the community or women leaders.
through a workshop on how girls and young women can participate in leadership. Religious leaders, community and traditional leaders and non-government organizations say there are issues that prevent women from participating in leadership.
We're not a homogeneous group in society. We are actually part of society, and we make, we make up society. And so you find the different negative social norms that are under religious systems, cultural systems, political systems, domestic or family systems, institutional systems, will continue to take us 3 steps backwards into issues of implementation that I did mention earlier. Be able to implement a particular policy, a particular law, simply because we have a negative social norm that says, you know what, this position is strictly for men.
We are striving at bringing to book all the negative social norms that actually prevent girls from participating in leadership, but also in decision making. When girls are not empowered, when girls do not have meaningful participation, that means that all of us as a community, we are getting crippled, because at the end of the day, all of us pay.
If girls or if children are taught from very early on, if they are put, certain values are put in them, they will not deviate from those values. Which values should be equality of the gender or of the sexes actually.
Women and girls lament that their involvement into leadership are impeded and demand a change.
Gender social norms is a trouble for us to be able to explore our full potential, our best selves as girls and young women.
But for people with physical disabilities, it is to the extreme.
It's high time that the world starts recognizing that girls with disabilities are capable leaders and can be influential people in their society. Because for a long time, we have been, downplayed and looked at as people who are not capable.
Those, among other factors, prompted the Girl Up initiative through the She Leads project to launch an initiative that raises the voices of girls and women in leadership. This campaign, dubbed Hear Her Out, She's a Capable Leader, has been launched at Bina Islamic primary and secondary schools.
At first, I was not capable of saying anything. I couldn't be able talking in people. At times back, I was shy, couldn't be capable of talking anything, but this program here had helped us a lot.
It's really a good platform for girls to speak and to amplify their voices, to be heard, to be leaders in their community.
I'm Ivan Juko for UBC.
With freedom. Get MTN Freedom voice bundles that don't expire. Dial *100 *21# or my MTN app for more bundles. Together, we're unstoppable.
This isn't just a girl. She is the future. This is a teacher, a doctor, a community leader, our future president.
Their support meant so much to me, and as a teenage girl, I stayed focused and was protected from child marriage and teenage pregnancy. I will support other girls against child marriage and teenage pregnancy.
Take action. Report any case of defilement or child marriage to the police or call Sauti 116.
10 years of supporting health in Uganda. This year, the Kabaka Birthday Run will mark its 10-year anniversary on Sunday, 16th April at Lubidi, starting 7 a.m. and continue the fight to end AIDS by 2030. Buy your running kit today at 20,000 shillings from Airtel shops, Benchuanuka, Fubani, New Taxi Pack, or Majestic Brands office in Bulangi Mango. You can also pay using Airtel Money. Dial *185 *5#. Kits purchased using Airtel Money shall be picked from Airtel Wampe or Shop. Proudly sponsored by.
Are you tired of high fees and slow transfer time when sending money? Look no further. Airtel Money is here to revolutionize the way you move your money. We have revised our rates, and now sending money from Airtel to other networks in Uganda, East Africa, and to the rest of the world has never been more affordable. Plus, you can trust Airtel Money to get your money where it needs to go quickly and safely. Simply dial *185# and start sending money. Switch to Airtel Money today and experience unbeatable rates and top-notch services for all your local and international money transfer needs. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
TB kills approximately 30 people daily, and 247 Ugandans fall ill of TB disease every day. TB has killed dreams and families. We all deserve a chance in life to hustle, smile. We all deserve a chance to dream and be the best version of ourselves. It is preventable and curable. Know your status. TB testing, treatment, and all TB-related services are free in all government hospitals and accredited private health centers.
Glow as you are with the new Spark 10 series smartphone from Airtel in partnership with Techno. Own the timelines with picture-perfect selfies using the 32-megapixel selfie camera, 256GB storage, G88 gaming processor, and a strong battery to last the whole day. Haha! Toakana.
The Spark 10 smartphone comes with free 3GB from Airtel and 100% bonus on weekly and monthly bundles every month for 3 months, so you can stay connected to a world of possibilities. Dial *100*5# to enjoy free data. The new Spark 10 is available in all selected Techno shops countrywide. Airtel, the smartphone network in partnership with Techno. Stop at nothing.
Welcome back. You are still watching News Tonight. Senior Presidential Advisor on Special Operations, General Ngonzi Kainerugaba, has apologized to the Karamojong over the insecurity which has drained many into poverty and death, especially arising from warriors and rustlers. General Ngonzi Kainerugaba was addressing residents of Namokora in Kitgum district on his second day of the tour in the sub-region.
The Senior Presidential Advisor for Special Operations, General Ngonzi Kainerugaba, who arrived in Kitgum last evening, has kicked off his 3-day countryside security tour of the area. His Tuesday morning was kicked off by convening a sub-regional security meeting as well as holding a religious conference. In the afternoon, General Ngonzi Kainerugaba landed at Kirilini Primary School still in Kitgum district ahead of a security public hearing. En route to Namakora grounds, General Ngonzi Kainerugaba interacted with these pupils.
I'm happy to see you. Are you studying well?
Yes. You are? At this meeting venue, a delegation of local leaders ushered in the Foster's General. And thereafter, speeches started.
You have come, and people have confidence in your visit.
In attendance were state ministers, members of parliament, and local communities.
It is true our people want everlasting solutions to ensure that we have peace in our areas. And I also want to note that the leaders of Acholi sub-region have raised all these cases in parliament. We have presented matters of national importance. We have held meetings. We have done everything we can. And we will not end up, but we continue looking for everlasting solutions.
General, if we are to solve the Karamojong issue, we have to have an intelligence-led confrontation. Intelligence. Most of the issues and some of the issues with the Karamojongs are that they're collaborators. People who inform the Karamojongs where the cows are, where the goods are, where they should come. So the army has to get enough intelligence.
The gaps in the UPDF are among those concerns raised by the residents.
The Karamojong raiders are causing loss of lives. This loss of lives not only for civilians, even for UPDF. You have the records. Please, these people must be considered terrorists and rebels so that they're dealt with.
Muhoozi Kainerugaba, who happens to be the former Commander Land Forces, was then invited to address the gathering.
First of all, I want to, on behalf of the government and the UPDF, I want to sincerely apologize for the suffering you have experienced. We are very sorry, and it is something that hurts us when our people suffer.
He, however, tendered in government's commitment in as far as pacification of Karamoja is concerned.
Then I'm also going to bring you the commandos. I'm going to bring you a unit of commandos. Here you find the most affected place in this area. We shall deploy them there. Those are very tough soldiers, and you'll see their results.
On top of the other interventions government is taking is the reinforcement of another battalion in the sub-region.
We're going to add another battalion here. It's going to join 5 division. It will join 5 division. They requested it, so we are going to give it to them.
Government is also moving in to solve.
So the Karamojong used that excuse, the excuse of no water. In the dry season, they say we have to move to other districts. So the plan of government now is to make sure that there is enough communal dams in Karamoja, so that the excuse of water is removed. They will never say that they need water. The water will be in Karamoja. The other thing, in fact, that government is also working on to improve the water situation in Karamoja is there's a plan to pump water from Lake Choga to Karamoja.
Mid his speech, Brigadier Kudembe was invited to update the community about the progress of the restoration of peace in the area.
Afande, as he said, that the Karamojongo used to attack and go even beyond Kitugum up to Guru. But we have dealt with the criminals, and since 2017 to date, we have prosecuted and they are serving sentences in various government prisons. There are 2,845.
So you've had some of the achievements, but as I said, more work remains for us to do in order to completely stamp out this vice.
As a demonstration for commitment to bringing back the lost cattle, General Muhoozi Kainerugaba donated over 100 cows to the affected communities.
Some kind of compensation for the many that you have lost, but this is just symbolic.
Muhoozi will be in Agago district in the following day. Robert Nyango, UBC News, Kitugum District.
And a troop of chimpanzees have attacked and killed a 3-month-old baby and injured several children in Chamajaka Village, Mohoro Town Council, Kagadi District. The incident happened when a troop of chimps snatched a baby from its mother, Omahereza Kunihira, as she was digging.
Residents in Mohoro Town Council have been overwhelmed by an estimated over 1,000 chimpanzees in villages of Chamajaka and Nyamiti. Residents say many children have been killed and several others hospitalized during the chimpanzee attacks. One of the area chairpersons, Leo Chibuka, says they failed to rescue the attacked children and babies.
Then I tried highly to see that. I asked for an ambulance. It comes then and they pick the children and they brought him to the hospital.
James Biamukama from NFA, while in a meeting with residents, says people have failed to harmoniously live with chimps.
When people disturb them, they also can organize and get sticks.
Robert Ochaya, the Bunyoro Region Supervisor, Uganda Wildlife Authority, says translocating chimps to national parks is very expensive.
Because translocating animals, one like a chimps, it may take even like 1 week before even you get one chimps.
Over 20 children have been injured and over 10 killed by chimps in over 5 villages of Muhoro sub-county in Kagadi district.
The National Children Authority has embarked on a tree planting campaign in 10 schools of Kigezi region with the aim of conserving the environment. The campaign is led by the Executive Director, National Children's Authority, Martin Kiza.
Children Authority.
This is purposed to conserve the environment in the Kigezi region, and the campaign will reach all regions of the nation under the plan to go green and address the challenges of climate change. The second is to teach the young generation benefits of environmental conservation. The tree planting drive in school was led by Kashagama Martin Kiza, the Executive Director, National Children's Authority.
Ntwara umugisho gukandi nkaba kitongole cha National Children's Authority okwebaza ishomero lya Kakomo Secondary School mudye gihururu yokorera ngo twalinda environment yitu turabyare miti tuye turi mahanga turi muri za Bugiso turi muri za Teso ari turi muri Kigezi sub-region kandi twabanza muri Kakomo Secondary School mukama yatuwo mu gishogo ngo mwe twabandiza mwe turabeshengereza ngo ni mu cyo kureberaho okubyara emiteji no kugireberera imwe abana b'amashomero emiteji harimo eyebijuma munendize yo kurangu ya breakinga wind ningasho muyaga nawe cyo.
Head teacher Kakomo Primary School, Kabaruka Dixon, appreciated National Children's Authority for the trees donated to the school.
Has been there without trees, and we couldn't budget for trees, but we are glad that the group that has brought these trees really thought that Kakomo needs the trees. We are happy, and I know we are going to protect these trees.
Students from different schools in Kigezi region said that their parents cut trees for charcoal, looking for school fees.
I'd like to thank our beloved visitors from Uganda National Children's Authority who have visited our school and who have brought for us these trees.
We are happy because they have given us.
National Children's Authority, they are combining effort in conserving the environment through empowering children in protecting the environment in Kigezi sub-region.
We thank the Roofings as our partner and trust and touch the heart Uganda who have helped us in having these tree seedlings. We thank them so much. All of us, especially our dear children, that you must make sure that you protect these trees to grow steadily so that at one point they bear fruit.
Joshua Kagoro, Stephen Kayumba, UBC News.
And with that, we take a quick break.
Talk with freedom. Get MTN Freedom voice bundles that don't expire. Dial *100 *21 hash or my MTN app for more bundles. Together, we're unstoppable.
This isn't just a girl. She is the future. This is a teacher, a doctor, a community leader, our future president.
Their support meant so much to me, and as a teenage girl, I stayed focused and was protected from child marriage and teenage pregnancy. I will support other girls against child marriage and teenage pregnancy.
Take action. Report any case of defilement or child marriage to the police or call Sauti 116.
Glow as you you are with the new Spark 10 series smartphone from Airtel in partnership with Techno. Own the timelines with picture-perfect selfies using the 32-megapixel selfie camera, 256 GB storage, G88 gaming processor, and a strong battery to last the whole day. Haha, Toakana.
The Spark 10 smartphone comes with free 3 GB from Airtel and 100% bonus on weekly and monthly bundles every month for 3 months, so you can stay connected to a world of possibilities. Dial *100*5# to enjoy free data. The new Spark 10 is available in all selected Techno shops countrywide. Airtel, the smartphone network in partnership with Techno. Stop at nothing.
TB kills approximately 30 people daily, and 247 Ugandans fall ill of TB disease every day. TB has killed dreams and families. We all deserve a chance in life to hustle, smile. We all deserve a chance to dream and be the best version of ourselves. It is preventable and curable. Know your status. TB testing, treatment, and all TB-related services are free in all government hospitals and accredited private health centers.
Are you tired of high fees and slow transfer time when sending money? Look no further. Airtel Money is here to revolutionize the way you move your money. We have revised our rates, and now sending money from Airtel to other networks in Uganda, East Africa, and to the rest of the world has never been more affordable. Plus, you can trust Airtel Money to get your money where it needs to go quickly and safely. Simply dial *185# and start sending money. Switch to Airtel Money today and experience unbeatable rates and top-notch services for all your local and international money transfer needs. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
With God, comfort replaces pain. Peace replaces confusion. Hope replaces sorrow. God loves you and knows you personally. He hears you and speaks to you in your thoughts, in your heart, and through living prophets. Come, hear the words God has for you. Watch the General Conference on Sunday, 2nd of April.
Jerry con! Jerry con! Hey, Master Blaster! Touch him, man! Bang Jerry con with muscle! Those ones who say go for you only. Mundawa! Best groups I teach you. But never go to which the school because of the cover is very far. Is you serious? It's just you. What? Yeah? You step it on it. Add kilometers to your legs and you get your sugar. We buy meat from Umaru and Umaru refuse to give you enough meat. Show him that they don't joke with you.
Okukakaluka n'okulungi kwetaagako omuntu akuyambako, n'olwekyo tujja kukuteerawo embeera esaanidde osobole okukola ekisinga. Awamu teri kitulema.
Now in business news, harmonization of standards, mindset change and improvement of quality products are vital in growing intra-African trade. This has been observed at a high-level continental standards meeting in Kampala, convened by African Regional Standards Organization, whose mandate is to harmonize standards and reduce technical barriers to trade and promote intra-African and global trade.
The African Regional Standards Organization is an arm of the African Union formed to champion the dream of African Continental Free Trade Area, whose goal is to enhance continental trade. African countries trade more with foreign countries than among themselves, with recent statistics showing that trade among African countries is barely less than 15%.
I would call it mindset because it's about consumers. We consume what we don't produce, and we produce what we don't consume. If I cut it short, we should produce for the African market. We don't lack the numbers. We are 1.3 billion of people, and we are still actually increasing.
This situation is attributed to many barriers, among them quality of products, protectionism, differing standards and mindset.
Those who have gone to China to set up plants have gone there because they want cheap labor. There's a big market. And nobody, let's not be under any impression that anybody is going to come from anywhere and help us. Pass good standards, which you have always been doing. Make those standards known to the people, because the institution that I had, every time I ask people whether they know what UNBS does, all they know is that we confiscate goods. So they think we are like another police organization.
The focus of the African Regional Standards Organization meeting in Kampala, hosted by the Uganda National Bureau of Standards, is to bridge existing gaps through harmonization of standards.
Currently have over 1,200 African standards. This is the indigenous African standards across all sectors, to be able to make sure that we promote trade among ourselves. So we are trying to make sure that we popularize these standards and engage with the African countries. Since we are all experts here now, we need to go into mutual recognition agreements so that whatever country certifies a product that is safe and good for Africa, we should be allowed to freely trade. There is no reason why we should seek permission to trade among ourselves.
The experts need to ensure all standards required for African products are harmonized across the region. Dennis Igoa for UBC Business.
The East African Crude Oil Pipeline Company has received an investment license to commence the journey of investment and unlocking the potential of Ugandan oil and gas sector. The issuance of the license sets the country on the path of achieving the 2025 oil commercialization on deadline.
The East African Crude Oil Pipeline Company has received an approval from Uganda Investment Authority. The investment license clears for the investment of over $4 billion in the downstream phase of the oil and gas project.
This project is implemented in a sustainable manner, so we had to go through a number of processes, including the environmental and social impact assessments, which we had to satisfy the requirements of the environment authorities in Uganda.
The Director General Uganda Investment Authority, Robert Michiza, says the license is a landmark in the commercialization of oil and gas and an achievement for the 2025 production timeframe.
The incentives we bring as Uganda Investment Authority, but also to understand that this is one of the most important investments in this country. And we would like to bring, as Uganda Investment Authority, any service, any support we can bring to this huge initiative.
Sourcing of finances from West and other financial partners is crucial in the construction of the 1,444 crude oil pipeline.
Out in the range of $4 billion of investment in the region, there are not very many investments of this size, and that's how important the project is.
The global financial market is currently unstable. Nonetheless, hopes for financing from partners are high.
We have done whatever needs to be done to satisfy lenders under the IFC standards and the Equator principles, whichever standard you want to be.
We reiterate our commitment to execute the project while conforming to both local and international standards.
The $4 billion investment are transformative since it's in line with the national content laws. Susan Naonga reporting for UBC.
And on sports, Uganda's sports sector has today witnessed a historic signing of a memorandum of understanding between Uganda Olympic Committee and Kaboja International School in Buziga. Now, in the MOU, there are provisions for providing Uganda Olympic Committee with sports facilities to grow sport in the country.
And this partnership, we're very happy, is looking at how together we can promote Olympism, the whole idea of Olympic culture and education through a number of activities that are going to be carried on throughout the coming period. So we'd like first of all to thank Mr. Turia and the Kaboja management for accepting to partner with us. We believe that it's through these kind of partnerships that we're able not only to spread Olympism and the whole idea of the Olympic movement, but also the sports side of it in terms of Kaboja International School has a very strong culture in sports. It has excellent facilities, it's building more, and therefore we also believe that our 33 members, some of whom are represented here, so we believe that not only through this MOU will we promote Olympism, but also the sporting side, and we believe that through this engagement, Kaboja International School will become, or already is on its way to becoming, one of the sporting powerhouses of Uganda in the various disciplines, and we look forward to also hosting regional, national and international events here.
When you look at the medals being won in Olympics, you find the developing countries or the developing economies have less compared to the developed world. So what does that mean? The developed world, they have facilities, they are mentally prepared for that, and they are not thinking, they don't have that mediocrity in thinking that games are for the weak. Games are for actually the intelligent ones. And where you don't have games, and where you don't have good social skills, then you cannot have a good competition. So as a school that is promoting good social values or social skills, it is an advantage that you are going to partner with us. You are actually partnering with those who are already convinced that we have something to benefit from you. The school is committed. We don't only commit in spirit, but also in finances. And what is killing our institutions is the spirit is there, the finances are not on. I've seen when our teams are about to move, the games have started the other side in the countries, and here they are still looking for which sign here, which is going to give us this. Thank you so much, very much.
Well, and that does it for News Tonight. Thank you for sticking with us. I am Rhoda Ngonzi. Have yourselves a lovely night.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.